to me about Postecoglou. I hear that Spurs are ready to let him go, regardless of the fact that he's won the title. I don't know if that was the word before they won. I don't know if their mind has changed, because not winning a title in almost 17 years and then somebody coming along to do it is a big deal. Your thoughts on this? Would you let him go if you were Daniel Levy?
Look, I'd like to just juxtapose his situation with Ruben Amorim's. We have to talk about
Thank you very
Amorim
much.
as well.
This is an agenda.
When you get to the
before you go on, sorry, I made a mistake. So Lukaku has 13 and McTominay has 12.
Wow. Yeah. 12 is still a lot. Yeah, when it is your turn, you can pursue your own agenda. Let Edwin pursue.
They started doing fireworks.
Let Edwin pursue his own agenda. Please talk to us, Edwin.
This is not agenda, but as I said, I would like to juxtapose the two situations because they were in a similar situation before that final. Both in the bottom half of the league, 16-17, their teams were not playing well, and they somehow reached the Europa League final. So similar situations.
Yep.
Postecoglou, yes, fine, he's won the Europa League. His team hasn't performed well all season, but he has a lot of excuses. He's basically played with his under-21s all season. He's lost so many key players throughout the season for long spells. He's lost his entire defense at one point, lost his entire attack at one point, his midfield at one point. So throughout the season, he's been playing with a makeshift team, and still he's managed to pull out some results. Obviously, they've declined as the season has gone on, and you can tell that at a point they shifted focus completely to the Europa League. They forgot about the Premier League. Same with Ruben Amorim. At the end of the season, you can tell United have shifted focus to the Europa League. But my problem is Ruben Amorim has a much better squad than Tottenham do. He's had a much more stable squad. The senior players that he's lost over the course of the season, a few of them, you can't compare that to what Spurs have lost over the season. And I am convinced that if you are a Man United fan, there's no way you should be comparing yourself to Spurs. So if Spurs are saying that, Postecoglou has done enough to stay in his position, there's no way you should be saying Ruben Amorim has done enough to stay in his position. Can you
please find me his record of losses, draws?
I think I have it off head. It's about, I believe, 26 games. He's lost like 13 or 14. And then it's like the wins and draws are like 6-6, something like that. It's about around that. I'll get it exactly.
The main point that stands out is that in this year, the only teams he's beating are relegated teams and Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham.
In the Premier League.
That's so crazy.
The only teams he's beating.
You mean the Ipswich, the Southampton?
Southampton, and Leicester City.
Ah, man.
And that is untenable for a Man United coach. It doesn't matter if you were brought in the, as Susu will say, middle of the season. No, it's not mid-season. He's managed over 26 games.
That's almost 2/3 of the season.
That's almost 2/3 of the season. Everything United are is down to him. And I've said before, if he came earlier, United would be relegated, and deservedly so.
They'll get 35 points.
Look, the mere fact that a few years ago 40 points was the magic number for relegated teams.
Okay, so let me just give you the record. 6 wins, 6 draws, 14 defeats. So I was about right.
6 wins. You dashed him a couple of.
No, I said it was.
You took a few defeats off his board.
Yeah, I said it was like.
You gave him 12 defeats.
Yeah, I think it was like
14 defeats, 6 wins, 6 draws. That is atrocious.
0.92 points per game. So if you do that by 38, I believe it's 35. We can just do the math so that we can just yes, 34.96. Which have gotten relegated in about 3 or 4 of the last 20 seasons. So
look, this record would get a Leicester City manager fired. It would get a Southampton manager fired. Why should Ruben Amorim stay in his job when he's even failed to get the one lifeline that he was given?
Because the United standards are dipping every single season,
which is unfortunate. Because I grew up watching United. They were the best team in the world.
You could never tell any Man United fan anything.
They attracted the best players. They attracted the best managers, contenders, because of what club they were. Now you look at United, and who are they going to attract? the argument has been made that Amorim needs preseason, he needs his players and all that. As a coach, your job is to make do with what you have, make the best of what you have. You can't lay down tools because you don't have your players. We are going back to the era where you need someone to unlock somebody and you need another player to.
We are there. No, we are not. We are there. That's where we are.
To break the chains and all that. How?
And they break the chains.
They
might as well get Paul Pogba there because he's clubless.
Look,
I
am a firm believer in preseason. I get it. You need time to bed in your players. You need time to work out your strategies. But if you come into a club where you know what you have, you know what you are not going to get. You are not going to get other players. It's time for you to adapt. You can't let yourself be drawn into a situation where you start losing games and then you look for excuses or you find people to defend your position, because that's what is happening to Ruben Amorim right now. And coach is talking about 2027, 2028.
That is eternity.
We'll be here and he'll say on Sports Panorama that give Allegri what he wants, because he is the one. If he gets what he wants,
that's some serious foreshadowing.
Yes, we say give Allegri what he wants.
Give Ten Hag what he wants.
I was just about to say that there's no way Amorim will be in the job in 2027 at this rate.
Look,
he won't be in the job.
I'm saying, I said before the Europa League final that sack him no matter what. Even if he wins it, sack him. And I'm saying here, now that they've lost it, now that there's no European football, sack him.
Sack him twice.
Sack him and bring another manager in who can get the preseason and who can get his players in. Because next season, halfway through the season, he'll be fired again because they are not performing well. Who is he going to attract? The players who have watched him all through the season, who have seen that no, he's not cut out for a big club like Manchester United at this moment.
Look at how he treated Marcus Rashford. That won't help him either.
He's lost some people in the dressing room because of his tactics and how poorly they've played.
In fact, I saw something yesterday that said that there are a couple of guys in the United room who think that the manager is too ambitious with his game plan and game style, i.e. too positive when he should be cautious.
There's no smoke without fire, and obviously when you start hearing these rumors, obviously there's some truth to it. There's some truth to it. He's lost some of the fans. Some of the fans are saying he should go, and you can't go into a new season with people wanting you to leave. Your fans, your own fans wanting you to leave, and that's one thing I want to congratulate Chelsea for before they brought in Pochettino. When the season was going down, there were rumors that Pochettino was coming in and that he should take over before the end of the season. If he had taken over before the end of the season, he would have been gone 2-3 games into the next season, because the vitriol from Chelsea fans towards any manager at the club at that time was insane. So they gave him some time. I am saying that get rid of Amorim. It didn't work. It was an experiment that had to be made because Ten Hag needed to go. He should have gone the previous season with or without that FA Cup. The FA Cup bought him some time.
That's where the mistake started.
Yes, it bought him some time. And people were hoping the Europa League would buy Amorim some time. Fortunately for United fans, and I'm saying fortunately, he didn't win. So it's your best chance to get rid of him. Get someone in who has time, preseason, fresh expectations. The fans look at this manager and say, oh, it's a change, let's get behind him. The players who you might have wanted to go for, who were doubting whether they would work under Pochettino, would look at the club and say, oh, a new manager, chance for me to improve. Players who had fallen out with Amorim will come and say, okay, a new page for me to start and revitalize my career at United. This is a chance for them to change over, start over again, and start a new season, thinking that, okay, even if we are not in the Europa League, even if we are not in the Champions League, we are in the FA Cup, we are in the Carabao Cup, we are in the Premier League, we can win at least 2 of these trophies. If anything, we can win one, go far in another, and perform creditably in the third. But if you keep Amorim, it's the same thing over again. December, I expect him to be gone if he stays. And eventually Allegri will come and coach will say, let's bring in his players. Let's give him preseason.
It's just crazy for me. Anyway, so from you, I understand that you keep Ange, and at least because he had a situation that was out of his
control.
He's
won the cup. he had a very difficult situation. His first season wasn't awful.
Yeah.
He was actually one of the better managers in the first season. Keeping him, allowing him to build on what he's done this season with some reinforcements, and we know now that he's won, he deserves some reinforcements from Daniel Levy. So I keep him. Amorim goes.
Cool. Let me read a few YouTube messages and then I'll come to Graham on this. Let me come to this one. Michael Frim says, on behalf of Chelsea, we trust Amorim. Nanaya Nelson says, you defend Ange with injuries, but Eric Ten Hag should be sacked. He also had injuries in the second season. This one
I agree.
This one here. So Ralph says, Edwin, you're spot on with the Amorim analysis. Superb. This one here is from Nana Kwesi Databa. He says Gareth Southgate with laughing emojis. I think he's talking about United hiring Gareth Southgate.
This when you think about it, could Southgate have done a worse job? I find it difficult to believe.
You see, that's what they don't understand. Southgate is the guy for the job. I told them that, look, you dance around Gareth all you want, you end up with Gareth. You just cool down. I'll get back to that. This one says, coach was yobbing the other time that United are the history makers. Meanwhile, Villarreal and Spurs have used them to make history. 5 European finals, 4 losses since 2009. That's interesting. This one says, relegation United if Amorim came earlier. More messages. Andy Asari says, Sports Panorama is the best. My lovely United needs to sell and move on from him. He cost us the final. He made too many wrong passes, and that led to the goal. You didn't mention the player we are talking about. This one's from Michael Frame. Says hashtag is just, I think you put in quotation mark, it's just Tottenham. I think you're laughing at Nimley. And then there's a couple more messages here. This one says Shaggy Polo says he's watching live from Milwaukee. Shout outs to Giannis. Tell him not to move this
he's
off
in San Francisco. Giannis is in San Francisco.
That's what I like to hear.
Tell him that he should not move this off season. Let me talk to you real quick on this again, same Amorim issue.
I'll go off what Edwin says. I agree with Edwin's analysis of Amorim and what exactly will happen. I just don't think they should sack Amorim. The truth is, they gave him the assurance that he had the season. They'll get him the players and that kind of stuff. So let's see whether he can actually get some improvement. The thing is, I'll continue. I doubt there'll be improvements. That's the thing. Because look at Manchester United's financial situation. This is actually the most important part. If Amorim had won the Europa League, I believe he could have actually had a decent season next season. But once you don't win the Europa League, your team is talking about PSR, saving money, and you are here basically, you've basically cost the club 100 million in revenue by not winning the Europa League. A club that's in financial trouble. Now we go to the players you are going to buy. We heard Coach Nimi say buy him the players he wants. This. 7 players are going to replace them. Where is the money to replace those 7 players to the quality you want?
I was just about to say, replacing 7 players is crazy.
Coach Nimi is saying Osimhen, Guy Corres, whoever. They are going to buy Liam Delap because of their budgetary concerns. Because Liam Delap is 30 million. Those strikers you are mentioning are 60-70 million. Has the Cunha deal been confirmed? I think they are going to buy Cunha, but I'm just giving that. This is what we are going to hear the whole summer. Oh, Amorim wants Frankie de Jong. They'll go and get him.
His second choice.
Who plays central midfield for Southampton? Joe Aribo. Like just an example. No. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you mean.
But that's what we are going to hear the whole summer.
That he didn't get his first choice.
Then he'll come. They will still not be as good. They'll be a bit better because they have some players. They won't be as good. They'll be languishing in mid-table. When we hear the board didn't back him, they didn't buy the
same old.
So you see, for me, the truth is, this Amorim thing, and this is why this whole he shouldn't adapt thing to me is nonsense. If you say you want to adapt, this is why the results are this bad. You are there to win games. You're not there to do philosophy. You're not Socrates. Win games. Win games. It's so simple. And me, this is why I disagree with Edwin on Ange. The same criticism for Amorim, it has to go for
Postecoglou.
It has to.
But for Postecoglou, he has shown that in his first season, when his players are healthy, he's capable. Remember, he went to a 13-game win streak.
And from that 13-game win streak, they've been very average.
But his key
from that first 13, but you see, they get injured because of the way he plays. I blame him for
that's
their
a solid
injuries.
argument.
And I have not seen that consistency from them from that first 10-13 games, like you said.
But he
We've
has
not
shown
seen
that
it.
with
But
quality
at least
material, he can be consistent.
At least he finished in the Europa League. He finished
That
in the
one there,
European spot.
I'll give it to him.
So he can tell
was
that
able-
Olivier that with a healthy season, if
But
you back me a
but
little,
but you see-
I can be
but
back
you
in the
see, they won't
Champions
have a
League.
healthy season. That's the thing. And the truth is, I'm actually of the opposite view that if anyone should be sacked, it's Ange. Because he had 2 full
You've
seasons.
been on his case for a minute.
No, and for me, all credit to him. I think he's earned the right to stay, right?
Yep.
Because once you win the trophy, first trophy in 17 years, to sack you if you haven't been relegated is ridiculous. You can't do it. You can't. Who are you justifying it to? The fans won't agree.
Yep.
Everyone will look at you like you're crazy.
Yep.
But truth be told, they are going to have another bad league season because the players cannot stay fit. Don't get me wrong. You are right. When the players are fit, this is a good team.
Yeah.
But the players are never fit, and we've seen it 2 seasons in a row. They have injury.
So the manager
problems.
is doing something
So
wrong.
either the players can't stay fit, or it's the manager. Which one
It's
is it?
definitely the game
So
style.
we have to and once it's the manager, we know that this same thing is going to happen. And are they going to be able to fluke a trophy next season? I don't know.
But
so
this is
for
no
me,
fluke though.
oh,
This is no
brother,
fluke.
brother.
No, that is.
You see-
I will let you say that. That is you trying to
No,
you cannot
me,
call
I'll
a
say-
team that has gone all the way to win a title.
I'll call a team that's lost 20 league games winning a trophy a fluke.
I won't agree.
What-
Cup
you think-
competitions and league competitions are not the same.
The league,
dynamics are not
the league is the mark of your consistency. That's where we show.
fair
And
enough.
if you lose 20 games in the league and you can go to Europa League and be doing things and I'll call it a fluke because the league where you're supposed to show your competition, everybody on that table has played the same games and you are 17th after 37 games. That's how bad you've been.
different dynamics,
Oh.
different teams from different countries.
So stop that. And that's why it's a fluke. Because you are not playing. That's not you didn't play winning football the whole season. You didn't. If you played winning football, you'd be even with the injuries, you'd be at least in the top half. And that's why I feel like Ange, he too, he's going to the same thing we are saying. He'll start next season. They'll start well. We'll be like, hey, Ange ball is working. Then after 10 games, like you said, the injuries will start. First, you see Romero will be running back from some counter attack. You hold his hamstring. Then Van der Ven, as coach say, Incrodo, something. So by the time you know, the players are all gone. Then we are back at the same place. Say Ange has injuries. The players are. You can't live like this. And me, the last point I'll make about Ange, which it needs to be said, is this is a business, and your players are assets, and injuries depreciate your assets. If you had a trucking company and you had a truck driver who was crashing your trucks every time, you sack him.
Fair.
You sack him.
Fair.
This is a business. We also we have to talk about the business side too. So for me, the two of them, I don't expect them to make it to the end of next season. I said on Premier League preview, and I'll say it again. If both of them are there by the end of next season, I'll be very surprised. The two of them, I expect. Look, Amorim there, I think December, January, because no.
Tell the guy he sound.
And you see, the truth is,
Fine boy coach, he sound.
you see, the truth is, I don't think I don't think he's necessarily a bad manager because in the Champions League they were decent, but his lack of pragmatism and adaptability is he's letting himself down. He can do so much better if he was a bit more open-minded. Because if truly he cannot coach any other way apart from the way he wants to coach, he's not a serious coach. Even though from what he's seen, this is a decent coach to me. And in Ange Postecoglou's case, we'll see the same thing. They will limp. I think he might make it to the end of the season, but they will limp to like 8th. They won't win anything, and they'll sack him. So look, I feel like both coaches, that league form is like it's a stain. You can't wash it off. It's going to stick with you. So unless both of them completely exceed expectations next season, are flying up the table, are in the top 6 consistently, and they finish maybe the worst any of them can finish for them to have any credit in the bank is 7th. If they finish any lower than 7th, I don't think they'll last. That's my personal opinion.